OK， 各位车迷朋友们，大家下午好啊！今天马上就要进行的是我们2019年亚洲冬季系列赛雪邦站本周末最后一回合，也是整个赛季第6回合正赛的现场直播。那么，我们今天的排位的第1名依然是本周已经连续2场杆位夺冠的21号车手里努斯。那么在本场比赛，他能否连续3场杆位夺冠，实现杆位夺冠的帽子戏法，是本场的一大看点。那么随后我们的解说会为大家介绍今天的排位情况。我们现在把话筒交给菲利。
Thanks, Alex. Earlier this morning, welcome to race 6. Earlier this morning, we saw Renault's VK take his second win of this weekend and also his 4th win of this season. And now he's 115 points, leading this championship. And before the race start, let's have a quick look of this morning's highlight. Another pole position again. And how confident are you for this race?
Yes, another pole position, and I'm very confident. I have all tires, and some other guys have better tires, so we see what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm confident that we're gonna be quick.
Good luck with the race. 刚刚我问到，因为这也是他这个比赛周的第3个就是杆位发车。那么我问到他这场比赛有多少信心呢？他说到，其实很多车手用到的是新轮胎，不过他用的是旧轮胎。不过呢，他对自己的驾驶非常有信心，觉得自己还是非常有信心能拿到冠军。
Well, Rinus VK confident of another good showing here at Sepang for race 6, and as well he might be, because he has 2 pole positions and 2 race wins so far here at Sepang. We've not had another driver in this Asian Winter Series actually lead a single lap here at Sepang. Such has been Rinus VK's dominance here this weekend. And obviously, he's carrying that confidence and that good form into this race 6. But Ye Yifei and the rest will be close behind. Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, starting from 2nd position. Akash Nandi, the Malaysian driver, starting 3rd. And let's head back down to the grid and hear more from Feline.
叶一飞，那你今天呢？就是其实这个发车位置和上午是完全是一样的。在发车的时候，自己会有一些跟上午有什么不一样的表现？会更注重哪些方面呢？
我跟上午都睡了一样，想办法有一个好的起步，然后看1号弯的情况，试图超越。
Okay, good luck. 那刚刚我问到earlier I just asked 叶一飞 because it's exactly the same position for the starting positions. And what is his strategy? And he answered me. He said, "It's the same strategy. He will try to overtake Reynolds by the first corner. And good luck with him."
Yes, Ye Yifei's made something of a habit of starting well from second position. In the last race weekend in Thailand, twice he started in second place and twice he was leading into the first corner. He wasn't able to do that in this morning's race, when he was also starting in second with Rinus VK on pole position. But another very solid second place for Ye Yifei. And let's see if he can take the win here this afternoon. Let's hear more from Feline on the grid now.
Hi, Action Andy. As a local driver here, are you very confident with this racetrack?
Yeah, I've had a lot of track time here, so very confident for this race.
Good luck with the race. Yeah. 刚刚我问到阿卡什南迪，因为他是一个本土的车手，他也提到呢，他自己在这条赛道上有非常多的经验，他也是非常有信心能今天取得一个好的成绩。
Yes, Akash Nandi, the local driver, born in Kuala Lumpur, which is just a short journey away from here in Sepang. Akash Nandi had a bit of a tough time of it earlier on. He told me that his clutch was slipping a little bit. He finished in 9th position this morning, but well up, starting in 3rd place for this race 6. These grid positions being decided by the results of the second qualifying session yesterday. And Akash Nandi with a 2 minutes 1.661. A very competitive time indeed, just 0.3 of a second slower than Rinus VK's pole time of 2:1.325. There we see Max Futrell, the British driver, making his Asian Winter Series debut this weekend. He starts in 9th place. That was Ishan Pierres, excuse me, in 5th position, Ishan Pierres. And now we're looking at Amari Cordial in 6th place, Ishan Pierres. And now Dan Ticktum, the pre-season favourite, who has had a torrid time of it so far. Dan Ticktum starting in 10th place. That was Max Futrell in 8th place, excuse me. Got a little bit confused there. Amari Cordial, the 88 car, 9th. Dan Ticktum in 10th. And this is Pavan Ravishankar starting in 11th place. And the cars being fired up. Mechanics and engineers ready to leave the grid. And watch out for Dan Ticktum at the back there, because he, along with Max Futrell, a little bit lower on the grid than they would perhaps like to be, with some problems earlier this weekend. And it should be fun to watch them come through the field. Dan Ticktum started the first race today down in 13th place and made it up into P5 by the end. So let's hope for some good racing up and down the field in this race 6 of the Asian Winter Series. Everyone off the grid now, just the cars and the drivers. And when those lights go on, they'll start the formation lap for this race 6 here at the Sepang International Circuit. And there we see the green lights are on, and Rinus VK leads the field away for the start of this formation lap. Akash Nandi there going a little bit over eager into 2nd place, now slots back into his 3rd place behind Ye Yifei. Let's have another look at the grid. Rinus VK, the Dutch driver, starting from pole position, and Ye Yifei alongside him as he was earlier this weekend in 2nd place. Row 2 sees local boy Akash Nandi well up in the 29 Pinnacle Motorsport car, and alongside him on row 2 is Alessandro Guiretti in the number 1 high-tech racing car, the French driver who celebrated his 17th birthday earlier this weekend. Ishan Pierres, the Sri Lankan driver, in 5th position, and alongside him on row 3 is number 81 Tomoki Takahashi, who finished 4th in this morning's race in the Super License Racing team. 7th on the grid, David Schumacher in the Pinnacle Motorsport car, the number 65, and he's partnered on row 4 by the number 17 car of Max Futrell, who, as I said, making his Asian Winter Series debut here today and a member of the Renault Young Driver Programme. Row 5 sees Amaury Cordeal, the number 88 car, in 9th position, and alongside him Dan Ticktum in 10th place, driving for high-tech racing. There he is, just going through your picture now. 11th place is the Singapore driver Pavan Ravishankar, and he's partnered on row 6 by number 7 Vivian Castay, who had to start this morning's race from the pit lane, which was an unfortunate problem for her, and she'll be no doubt pleased to start from the grid along with everyone else. Row 7 sees the start of the Masters Series drivers. Tairoku Yamaguchi in 13th place, and he's partnered by number 30 Dragon. Both drivers driving for the B-Max racing team, as is Motoyoshi Yoshida, who brings up the rear in 15th place, also driving in the Masters category and also driving for B-Max Racing. So a full house, 15 cars on the grid here at Sepang for race 6 of the 2019 Asian Winter Series. Rinus VeeKay, your pole position man, just weaving a little bit, desperately trying to get some last-minute grip into those tyres to get off to a good start, as he has done so far this weekend. He was on pole for race 4 and race 5 and won handsomely from pole position, and we heard from him on the grid saying how confident he was of another good result this afternoon, and why shouldn't he be? He's performed absolutely admirably so far this weekend, with the final cars, the back markers just lining up on the grid there. The medical car in position there, that white car in the middle, and that follows the cars round on the first lap in case there are any incidents, and then the medical team can attend swiftly. The green flag being waved, and we'll see those lights go red now, and when they go out, we go racing in Sepang. Rinus VeeKay gets away well, Ye Yifei slotting into 2nd place. Akash Nandi looks as if he may have got a little bogged down there. They go 4 wide. It looks as if Takahashi on the right-hand side may be up into 3rd place, but Akash Nandi holding the inside. Rinus VeeKay going through. Ye Yifei into 2nd place. Alessandro Guiretti has made it through into 3rd. There's contact in the midfield. That looks like it may be David Schumacher, or perhaps Amaury Cordeal. I couldn't see from here. But as they go through, Rinus VeeKay still in the lead. No, it's not. It's Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, in the lead. We didn't see how that happened, but Rinus VeeKay as David Schumacher. Unfortunately for him, the steering wheel out. Looks like his race is run, but Ye Yifei up into 1st position. Rinus VeeKay down to 2nd. Alessandro Guiretti into 3rd. Akash Nandi just getting squeezed out a little bit there. And Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, said he was hoping to make a good start, and he has done. He's up into the lead. Rinus VeeKay in 2nd place, going a little wide there. Alessandro Guiretti into 3rd place. Akash Nandi in 4th. Ye Yifei still in the lead. Akash Nandi 4th. Takahashi in 5th place. As we look closely at Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver who's taken the lead from Rinus VeeKay, the first driver other than Rinus VeeKay to lead a lap here at Sepang this weekend, and the safety car is out. So the race will now be neutralized. The safety car is out, and the safety car will pick up Ye Yifei, who's leading the race. I presume that is to get rid of David Schumacher's car. We saw him spin out after a bit of contact at turn 1. There's the safety car, just waiting to pick up the race leaders. And hopefully we won't be under safety car conditions for too long. There we go. The safety car pulling away now, and that will pick up Ye Yifei, and you'll see the drivers as they were on the formation lap, weaving from side to side, trying to get some heat into those tyres and into those brakes. And Ye Yifei coming round the last corner now in the lead of this race. Rinus VeeKay in 2nd place. And Alessandro Guiretti up into third from fourth on the grid. Max Futrell, the 17 car, way up in fourth place. So Max Futrell, a very good start. Akash Nandi crowded out a little bit, down to fifth. We didn't see how Max Futrell got up quite so far, but from 8th position on the grid, Max Futrell up into fourth place. And you can see there David Schumacher's car being towed away, and that's the reason for the safety car. And let's take another look now at the start of the race. Now you see Rinus VeeKay. It looked as if Rinus VeeKay took the lead. Ye Yifei close behind. A lot of cars in the midfield there going 4 wide as they go through, 5 or 6 wide as they go through turn 1. Let's try and see what happened with David Schumacher. Yes, he just tagged. Well, I couldn't see who that was. Perhaps a Marie Cordial. But David Schumacher out of the race. Very disappointed to be out of the race so early on. There's a Marie Cordial right at the back, so it does appear that the Belgian driver came into contact with Schumacher. And all of that confusion helped Max Futrell get up into fourth position from 8th on the grid. A very good start from the young Englishman. We're looking now at Rinus VeeKay down to second place for the first time this race weekend, not in the lead. Ye Yifei now in the lead of the race. The lights still on the safety car, those lights still flashing, and when those lights go out, that signals that the safety car is coming in on this lap, but no sign of that happening just yet. You can see the flashing lights still on top of the safety car, and as I speak on the timing monitor in front of me, I'm seeing that the safety car is in fact coming in this lap. So the marshals doing a good job of getting rid of the car, the stricken car of David Schumacher. The safety car will peel in to the pit lane at the end of this lap, and then we will be racing again, and Ye Yifei will have to be on his toes because Rinus VeeKay, Alessandro Guiretti and the rest of the drivers will be snapping at his heels and trying to get past. Of course, any advantage that you build up is neutralized by the safety car. You can see how close the cars are all to each other now, and Ye Yifei now backing the pack up so that he can put the hammer down when he sees the safety car away. Now he essentially becomes the safety car. There's still no overtaking allowed, and Ye Yifei, it looks as if he's gone for it now. Put the hammer down a little bit. There'll be hard braking, no overtaking into this last corner, and Ye Yifei with a good exit there takes the lead as the green flag flies. You can see the marshal there waving the green flag, and we're back racing here at Sepang. 24 minutes to go. The pack all very tightly packed. Ye Yifei going a little defensive there, clearly wary about Rinus VeeKay behind him. Dan Ticktum looks as if he's going up the inside of Eshan Pierres as they go up, so Dan Ticktum has made that move stick, I think, and up into 7th place goes Dan Ticktum. So Ye Yifei still in the lead, Rinus VeeKay still in 2nd place. They've all got round turn 1 and 2, not too much in the way of incident. The green flag still flying, reminding the drivers that we are now racing. And Alessandro Guiretti going defensive, Akash Nandi looking up the inside, up the outside rather. But Ye Yifei still in the lead as they go round turn 4 into these long sweeping left and right-handers at turn 5 and turn 6. Ye Yifei still in the lead. There's Alessandro Guiretti. And Vivian Castay, the Hungarian driver, who's down in 9th place at the moment, is under investigation for overtaking under the safety car. So perhaps the Hungarian driver moving a little bit too early there, perhaps overtaking before she crossed the start-finish line. There we are looking at Akash Nandi, the local driver, down in 5th position from starting 3rd on the grid. The Japanese driver Takahashi behind him, and Dan Ticktum in very close attendance in 7th place. There is Akash Nandi, the number 29 Pinnacle Motorsport car. And ahead of him, Max Futrell in 4th position. 22.5 minutes to go. And Dan Ticktum is another driver currently in 7th place under investigation for overtaking under the safety car. So they're just under investigation at the moment. There's no penalty or punishment being issued, but Dan Ticktum going up the inside. Yes, it looks as if he's making that move stick on Takahashi. Dan Ticktum up the inside as they go through the hairpin. So Dan Ticktum into 6th position. 2 places gained by Ticktum on that lap. 22 minutes to go. Dan Ticktum up into 6th place, and now will be hunting down Akash Nandi in 5th place. Meanwhile, Ye Fei at the front, just fighting the car a little bit as he goes through the right-hander at turn 1, and now down the hill into the left-hander at turn 2. Rinus VeeKay still in 2nd position. Alex Guiretti in 3rd, and Max Futrell into 4th place. There's Ye Fei going through the right-hander at turn 4, hard braking there. Just around 1 second lead now over Rinus VeeKay, who may be content just to settle for 2nd place in this race. He's won the previous 2 races so far this weekend, and he won 2 of the 3 races in round 1 at Buriram in Thailand last weekend. So even if he only manages to finish 2nd in this race, he will still have a considerable lead in the championship, and he can afford to maybe be a little bit more circumspect. There he is, Rinus VeeKay, Rinus van Kalmthout, to give him his full Dutch name. Simply goes by the name Rinus VeeKay, and usually plies his trade in American single-seaters. There's Alessandro Guiretti, a French driver who just celebrated his 17th birthday, and he'll be driving in the Asian F3 Championship later on this year. Behind him, in 4th place, there's Max Futrell, having a good race, locking up a little bit, his front right there, snatching a little bit. He wants to be careful, he doesn't do that too often. Akash Nandi there, the 5th place man, the local boy, number 29. And he's, I would think, going to have Dan Ticktum in very close attendance in the next lap or 2. There you see Dan Ticktum, the number 27 car, in the Red Bull livery. Dan Ticktum is in the Red Bull Junior Driver Programme, very much with an eye on a future seat in Formula 1, if not next season, then at some point in the near future. But he's had a rather tough time of it so far in this Asian Winter Series. He's had all sorts of problems, but he's looking close behind Akash Nandi now, not quite close enough for a look up the inside. And further down the grid there, Vivian Castay just having a look up the inside of Pavan Ravishankar, but again, not really close enough to make that move stick as they go into turn 1 and now through turn 2. "19 minutes gone, 90 minutes to go, I should say, just about 10.5 minutes gone, and the field very closely bunched together throughout the pack, partly as a result of that safety car which bunched everybody up for 2 laps. Ye Fei still in the lead. There he is, just set the fastest lap of the race, a 2-minute 3.25. Rinus VeeKay still in 2nd position, about 1.5 seconds behind, and he is just under 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Alessandro Guiretti, who finished in 3rd place last time this morning and still sits in 3rd place now. Max Futrell in 4th place. There's Alessandro Guiretti, the number 1 car, in 3rd. Max Futrell in 4th place there. Akash Nandi in 5th, the orange and blue Pinnacle Motorsport car, and Dan Ticktum in 6th place in the high-tech, having started 10th on the grid. And these cars separated not by very much at all. Akash Nandi just half a second behind Max Futrell, and Alessandro Guiretti not too far up the road. Akash Nandi there just getting a little bit of a slide on. You can see his hands getting a little bit crossed, and that won't have done his cornering any good whatsoever going through that final hairpin. 5 laps now having been completed. Ye Fei still in the lead, another fastest lap, 2-minute 3.1, just putting out a little bit of a lead over Rinus VeeKay, who's now 2 seconds back from Ye Yifei. Vivian Castay there, the number 7 car, just taking a bit of a tighter line into turn 1. As we look at the number 13 car of Tairoku Yamaguchi, and the Japanese driver 13th on the road and in 2nd position in the Masters category. The 3 drivers in the Masters category, all Japanese, all driving for the B-Max Racing team, owned by Dragon in the number 30 car, that striking yellow and red liveried car. And I'm seeing on the timing screen that car number 27, that's Dan Ticktum, his team manager is to report to race control. So there was a little warning earlier that Dan Ticktum had been under investigation for potentially overtaking under the safety car, and perhaps we haven't heard the end of this just yet. So clearly this still to run. The high-tech mechanics there looking a little concerned on the pit wall. But Dan Ticktum currently still in 6th position. So 16 minutes still to go in this race. So Akash Nandi there, the local driver, in 5th position. There he is, about to start another lap. 16 minutes to go, and Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, still in the lead. And Dan Ticktum going up the inside of Akash Nandi there. And it looks as if he's made that move stick and into 5th place. So Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, still in the lead. Rinus VK in 2nd position, 3.2 seconds behind now. Alessandro Guiretti in 3rd place, and Max Futrell in 4th place. Further down the grid, here we are looking at number 30 car of Dragon in 12th place on the road, but leading in the Masters category. And Tairoku Yamaguchi, his teammate in the number 28 car, in 2nd place, and Motoyoshi Yoshida bringing up the rear in 14th place on the road and 3rd in the Masters category. There's Ye Yifei, your race leader, 6 laps having been completed. Rinus VK, the championship leader, having won the first 2 races here this weekend. The number 21 car in 2nd place. Not looking as if he's threatening too much. Ye Yifei managing to keep his distance at the front. And Rinus VK perhaps settling for 2nd place here, which would still see him consolidate a handsome lead in the championship. There's Alessandro Guiretti, the number 1 car, in 3rd place. Just rounding the final corner now. Max Futrell in the 3rd high-tech car, the number 17 in 4th place, having a good race, up from quite far down, 9th place on the grid. Dan Ticktum in 5th place, and Akash Nandi, the local boy, started 3rd on the grid, now down in 6th position. There we see the number 7 car, Vivian Castay, just ahead of Amaury Cordale, and that's the battle for 10th place. There at the front is Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver. Now 4.7 seconds ahead of Rinus VK, who's dropped back a little bit. Ye Yifei, a very quick lap last time out, 2 minutes 2.9. 1.5 seconds quicker than Rinus VK, a 2 minute 4.4. So Ye Yifei really putting the hammer down now and having a very good race indeed, the Chinese driver. Rinus VK dropping back a little bit, but still not into the clutches of Alessandro Guiretti, who you see there in your picture in 3rd place. The Frenchman still 1.5 seconds behind Rinus VK. The Dutch driver there. 12.5 minutes to go. There's Max Futrell, the British driver, in the number 17 car in 4th place. Dan Ticktum in 5th position. And Akash Nandi, the Malaysian driver, in 6th position. And the race just starting to spread out a little bit now. There you see, that is Rinus VK, Alessandro Guiretti, Max Futrell, Dan Ticktum and Akash Nandi, all of them on the back straight together, as Rinus VK just negotiates the last corner to start another lap, which will be his 9th lap. Still behind Ye Yifei, dropping another second to Ye Yifei on that lap. The gap is now 5.7 seconds between Ye Yifei and Rinus VK. Alessandro Guiretti still 1.5 seconds behind. And the British pair of Futrell and Ticktum in 4th and 5th places there. Akash Nandi still in 6th position. And Rinus VK breaking down into the right-hander. Alessandro Guiretti following him. Max Futrell there, and we're riding now with the Japanese driver, Dragon. A lovely close-up shot there of the striking black and yellow and red car. And that's a close battle in the Masters category between Dragon in the number 30 and Tairoku Yamaguchi in the blue car just behind. There's less than a second between those two, and it's nice to see some close racing a little bit further down the grid in the Masters category, as well as the main category of racing here in the Asian Winter Series. They come around this long left-hander at turn 5 now, approaching turn 6. And Dragon notably won the first F3 race earlier today, and he'll be hoping to make it 2 out of 2 and complete a very happy Sunday indeed for the Japanese driver. There's Ishan Perez, the Sri Lankan driver. We haven't seen too much of him so far, but he's riding in 8th position, sandwiched between Tomoki Takahashi in 7th place, the Japanese driver in the number 81 car, and Pavan Ravishankar, the number 2 driver, as Dan Ticktum now closing up on Max Futrell in the number 17 car. Those two drivers teammates. 2 of the 5 high-tech racing cars to take part in this race 6 here today. And Ticktum close behind, just 4/10. I wonder if he'll have a look up the inside. He's getting very close behind, but perhaps just a little bit too far away, locking up his front right wheel as well there, Dan Ticktum, as he gets very close to the back of Max Futrell as they go through turn 2. Akash Nandi in the background just going through there, just dropping a little bit further back now. This is probably the closest battle, as is this one, Vivian Castay and Amari Cordale. Those two going at it, hammer and tongs through turns 1 and 2 as well. The Hungarian driver just managing to stay ahead, and that is the battle for 10th place, with Vivian Castay in front and Amari Cordale in the wars a little bit earlier on, tagged with David Schumacher, which unfortunately for the German driver put him out of the race and brought out the safety car. But the Belgian driver managing to get going again, as we look now at Alessandro Guiretti in 3rd place. Futrell and Ticktum close by in 4th and 5th still, and Nandi in 6th position. But Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, still up at the front, 7 seconds the lead now, or over the last time they went over the start-finish straight. Ye Yifei 7 seconds ahead of Rinus VK. There you see Ye Yifei, and there you can see visually how big the gap is that he's pulled out over Rinus VK. So with 8 minutes to go in this race, unless Ye Yifei has some sort of problem or perhaps makes a mistake, I fail to see how Rinus VK can pull that gap back, because Ye Yifei going very well indeed, and when he crosses the line, we'll see just how big of a lead he now has over Rinus VeeKay. It looked as if it was bigger this time round, and indeed 8.2 seconds now, the gap between Ye Yifei in the lead and Rinus VeeKay. So Ye Yifei averaging about a second a lap faster than Rinus VeeKay. Alessandro Guiretti still third, Max Futrell still holding on to fourth place, but Dan Ticktum close behind in fifth. In sixth position, Akash Nandi, just dropping back a little bit there. And in seventh place, Tomoki Takahashi and Ishan Pierres. This is the battle for 10th place, still raging between Vivian Castell, currently holding that position, and Amaury Cordeel, the Belgian driver, just behind the Hungarian. And more close racing further down the field. This is the Masters category. The number 30 car, Dragon, still ahead of the 28 car of Yamaguchi. And not much in it at all there between those two. Last on the road is the number 13 car of Motoyoshi Yoshida, also in the Masters category, bringing up the rear in 14th place. And I said earlier that there had been an investigation into Dan Ticktum's overtaking under the safety car, and he has in fact now been handed a 10-second time penalty for overtaking under the safety car period, which presumably will be added on to his race time at the end. So 10-second time penalty for Dan Ticktum. Meanwhile, Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, with 6 minutes to go, still sitting pretty at the front. A big lead now, even bigger than last time. Clearly that car working very well for him, and Rinus VeeKay has no answer to the pace of Ye Yifei in this race 6. Alessandro Guiretti in third place, and Max Futrell still in fourth. Dan Ticktum still in fifth, and now with a 10-second time penalty to be imposed on him after the race is finished. Akash Nandi sixth on the road, and then a little bit of a gap just at the top of your picture there between Nandi and Tomoki Takahashi in seventh, and just behind him the Sri Lankan driver Ishan Pierres in 8th place. 5.5 minutes to go there. As we look down as the drivers negotiate turn 1 and turn 2, here's the battle for 4th place between Max Futrell and Dan Ticktum. A little bit far behind to make a move, but he's going. Had a little look up the inside of turn 4 there. I think that was a bit half-hearted, and then he locked up and got out of it. Lucky he didn't run into the back of Max Futrell there. But Dan Ticktum, I wonder if his team have told him that he's got a 10-second time penalty, and he's maybe driving a little bit on the ragged edge now, with 4.5 minutes to go in this race. Still in 5th place, Max Futrell still in 4th. Up at the front, no such troubles for Ye Yifei, now with a 9-second lead over Rinus VeeKay in 2nd place, who has 2 seconds in hand over Alex Guiretti. And Ye Yifei's best lap time, a 2:02.9, nearly a second quicker than Rinus VeeKay's best lap time at 2:03.6. With 4 minutes to go in this race 6 of the Asian Winter Series. Another lock-up from Dan Ticktum on his front right. Clearly driving on the ragged edge. Perhaps a little bit of frustration starting to creep in there. He's had problems with his car this weekend, and now this penalty. And still in 5th place behind Max Futrell, who is making his Asian Winter Series debut. But Ye Yifei up at the front, starting another lap, lap 13. The number 16 Absolute Racing car going through turn 2 there. 10 seconds clear of Rinus VeeKay, who does seem to have settled for 2nd place now. There's no way that he's catching Ye Yifei and making up 10 seconds with just 3 minutes of racing still to go, unless Ye Yifei has some sort of problem or makes a driver error, which I think is unlikely at this stage of the race. He's got a good bit of time in hand, and he can afford to just stroke it home and just relax, not worry too hard about pushing too hard. There's Alessandro Guiretti, looking like he's set for another third place finish, as he finished earlier on this morning. The French driver, 17 years old. There he is, just behind Rinus VeeKay. The high-tech racing cars currently sitting 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 9th, with Pavan Ravishankar rounding out the 5-car high-tech stable there. But Ye Yifei, racing for Absolute Racing, still in the lead. There's the number 2 car of Pavan Ravishankar, the Singapore driver, in 9th place. We've not seen too much of him so far, but there he is. Meanwhile, Ye Yifei going through there, and Rinus VeeKay, the Dutch driver, in 2nd place. Ye Yifei starting another lap, and this will be the last lap. There you can see on the top of your picture and on the board there. So the drivers know that this is the final lap of race 6 of this 2019 Asian Winter Series. Ye Yifei looking as if he will win this 3rd race of this weekend, just as he won the 3rd race of last weekend in Buriram in Thailand. Something of a mirror image, actually, because Rinus VeeKay won the first 2 races this weekend and also won the first 2 races last weekend. So the championship looking like it'll be a 2-horse race between Rinus VeeKay and Ye Yifei. The rest of the drivers some way back. Alessandro Guiretti in 3rd place on the road today. But Ye Yifei really drove very well today. He got the lead early on in the first lap from Rinus VeeKay, just before the safety car was announced. So he managed to keep his lead for the safety car period, because no overtaking is permitted when the safety car is on track. And then it was just a question of pulling away, managing the gap. He now has 10 seconds in hand over Rinus VeeKay. A very dominant performance from Ye Yifei here this afternoon. There is Rinus VeeKay in 2nd position, but I shouldn't think he'll be too disappointed with that. Still some very useful championship points. He's got a big lead now over Ye Yifei in 2nd place, and then a big lead back from Ye Yifei in 2nd to the rest of the drivers further down the field. Here comes Ye Yifei on the back straight now, approaching the final turn, braking hard now to the left-hander at turn 15, and Ye Yifei exits turn 15, doing a little bit of celebratory weaving on the line, and Ye Yifei wins race 6 of the 2019 Asian Winter Series. A very dominant performance after 14 laps of racing. Here comes Rinus VeeKay coming through to finish 2nd. Not a position he's been accustomed to so far this weekend, but I don't think he'll be too disappointed with that. Alessandro Guiretti finishing 3rd, as he did in the previous race. Max Futrell finishing 4th. And Akash Nandi 5th as they go over the line. Dan Ticktum crossing the line in 6th place. Now, we didn't see what happened there. I don't know if Dan Ticktum has taken his 10-second penalty or not, but Dan Ticktum 6th over the line, Akash Nandi 5th, Ishan Pierres in 7th place, Tomoki Takahashi 8th, Pavan Ravishankar finishing 9th, Vivian Castay just holding on to 10th place, ahead of Amari Cordeal, who finished 11th. The 3 Masters category drivers still finishing, with Dragon just edging out Tairoki Yamaguchi to finish 12th and 13th. But there is your race winner, Ye Yifei. A dominant performance so far. Once he got the lead, he was never headed and ended up winning by 11 seconds from Rinus VeeKay. So Ye Yifei winning very convincingly indeed. And the Asian Winter Series now takes a little bit of a break before we're back in Sepang at the end of February in 4 weeks' time for races 7, 8 and 9, the final 3 races of this Asian Winter Series. Ye Yifei coming in on his victory lap now, and he'll come peeling off into the pits, and I'm looking forward to hearing what Ye Yifei has to say. Hopefully we'll get to hear from him in Parc Fermé, because that was a very convincing performance indeed. We heard from him on the grid saying how he was focusing on just getting past Rinus VeeKay. Well, he managed to do that very early on and then established a very handsome lead indeed, and winning by 11 seconds in a 14-lap race. A very commanding performance indeed. Here he comes then, Ye Yifei, into that first position. You can see his team there very, very pleased, putting those glorified leaf blowers straight into the side pods to help cool the car down. And the Absolute Racing mechanics, I should think, very happy with Ye Yifei's afternoon's work. Just helping him take the head restraint off there. Alessandro Gueretti to the left and Rinus VeeKay to the right, flanking Ye Yifei, the Chinese driver, who steps out of his car, puts the steering wheel back on. The only way of getting out of that car is by taking the steering wheel off first, because there isn't a great deal of room to maneuver. And Ye Yifei, there he is, absolutely delighted with his afternoon's work. A very, very good performance indeed. And now Ye Yifei, quite rightly, taking the plaudits of his team, who've seen their driver win race 6 here at the Sepang International Circuit. Handshakes and backslapping all round there. Alessandro Gueretti in the background there, as Ye Yifei rightly receives the plaudits up and down the pit lane, and especially from his Absolute Racing team. Rinus VeeKay there in second place, taking his helmet off. Those top 3 cars there. Ye Yifei's number 16 in the middle, flanked by 21 Rinus VeeKay to the left and number 1 Alessandro Gueretti to the right. And let's go down now with Feline, who's with Ye Yifei in Parc Fermé.
叶一飞，那你也是我们在比赛之前我们做采访过，我们说你提到就是起步是非常的重要，你也的确是非常好的执行了这一点。那么你自己对自己的起步应该是非常的满意，觉得这个技巧在哪里？
就是耐心，然后不要急。1号弯的时候起步我还可以，1号弯的时候我想办法就是怎么说，设一个陷阱吧，就让头车1号弯刹车太晚，这样我可以在出弯的时候超过他。然后果然他1号弯刹车太晚，我就切后弯心把他超过了。在之后我们的速度一直都非常快，然后最后比赛的时候我基本上就非常小心的跑。我有那个就是最后赢得比赛其实挺轻松的这场比赛。感谢车队的支持。
Congratulations. Yeah. Now, earlier, because earlier he said the starting is very important. I asked him how he did it, and he said he made a trick, and when he started, he pushed Reynolds to brake late at the first corner. That's how he can overtake him and keep leading until the end.
Well, we heard Ye Yifei on the grid talking about how he had a plan to get past Rinus VeeKay, and he certainly executed that plan with aplomb. And let's have a look at the results there. Confirmation that Ye Yifei won the race, 11 seconds of Rinus VeeKay in second place. Alex Gueretti in third. Max Futrell finishing in fourth place. Akash Nandi, the local boy, in fifth place. Ishan Perez classified sixth. Takahashi in seventh. Pavan Ravishankar in 8th place. Dan Ticktum, after his post-race penalty, only finishing in 9th place. And then Vivian Castay in 10th. Amaury Cordial in 11th place. And then the three Japanese drivers, Dragon, Yamaguchi and Yoshida, with Dragon winning in the Masters category. And David Schumacher, the last classified racer, unfortunately for him, not managing to complete the first lap. And now let's take a look at some of the highlights of this race 6 at Sepang. So, Ye Yifei winning the race, Rinus VeeKay in second position, and Alessandro Guiretti rounding out the top three. And those will be the three drivers that we'll see on the podium in just a few moments' time. Ye Yifei taking his second race win of this 2019 Asian Winter Series. Rinus VeeKay, the only other driver to have won. And there is Ye Yifei, your race winner, with his customary Chinese flag that he likes to take on the podium with him. Very patriotic. Rinus VeeKay, the Dutch driver, in second position. Doesn't look too downhearted. He's still, after all, leading the championship. And his teammate, Alessandro Guiretti, rounds out the top three. Ye Yifei clearly very happy with himself there. And he now receives his first place trophy from Mark Chu, manager of GT Tyres, who provide all the tyres that these Asian Winter Series cars use. Rinus VeeKay receiving his second place trophy. And Alessandro Guiretti now receiving his third place trophy from Davide De Gobi, the series director of this Asian Winter Series. Congratulating the other two drivers there as well. And a quick photo opportunity and some tremendous racing we've seen over this race weekend here at Sepang. This is a tremendous racetrack, lots of overtaking opportunities and some exciting racing as well. And Ye Yifei taking the race win in race 6. The three drivers there enjoying a quick photo op and now celebrating in the time-honoured tradition with a bit of champagne. Ye Yifei hiding to one side there. Rinus VK is certainly getting very good at spraying the champagne. He's had a lot of practice at doing it over the last couple of race weekends. And he now heads into the last 3 races with a considerable lead in the Drivers' Championship from Ye Yifei, who sits in second place. And now, in a short while, we'll go back to the podium. There we are for the result of the Masters category, which was won by number 30 Dragon, the Japanese driver who owns the B-Max racing team. There he is, the winner. In second place, the number 28 car of Tairoku Yamaguchi. There he is, taking second place. And Motoyoshi Yoshida rounding out the top 3 in the Masters category. Nice to see all 3 drivers in the Masters category on the podium. Unfortunately, in the morning, Tairoku Yamaguchi didn't manage to finish and therefore was not classified. So we just had Dragon and Yoshida on the podium. But now, all 3 drivers featuring there, and all of them, I should think, very happy to have finished the race. Davide De Gobi, series director, there presenting Yoshida with his trophy and giving a quick handshake to the other 2 drivers as well. All 3 drivers racing for the B-Max racing team that's owned by Dragon. And the 3 drivers there. A quick photo op. Dragon clearly very happy with his first place. A quick photo op. And we haven't seen the Japanese drivers spraying the champagne so far this weekend, but they're clearly enjoying themselves there now. The 3 of them enjoying themselves and enjoying the adulation. And let's head down to the press conference now and hear from the top 3 in today's race.
Well, I had the same mindset, is to make a start and try to overtake at turn 1. Yeah, I think both of me and Rios, we had a good start, and yeah, in turn 1, I knew he would brake very late to stop me from making it around the outside, so I tried to brake early and cut back in the exit, and yeah, I managed to do that. And after, yeah, there was a safety car, and yeah, after that, my pace was looking very, very good. So at the end, I was just trying to avoid
れたので、勝ったことがしたら嬉しいですけど、スタートの1コーナーのアクシデントの混乱で運よく前に出てたので、前に出てしまえば自分を見せられないっていうふうに思ってたので、後ろにいるとなかなかチャンスがないっていうのはもう自分もよく分かったので、見せられないよっていうことだけ集中を聞かさないようにしました。
Yeah, this quite enjoyable battles. I was lucky because after the first corner, it was quite steep, with some upset on the first corners. And luckily, I passed that action safely. So then I knew that if I could stay in front, it's not so easy to overtake me. So from behind, it's a little down, close to everything. So not so easy to overtake. I knew that. So therefore, I was then I tried to concentrate to keep position.
Okay, thank you very much. In terms of your racing, how was your point of view? How was the track?
Though it's like some getting the ones on the other way, but
スタートの打ち物でちょっとミスしちゃってちょっと抜かれてしまって、でなんとか機械走行努力したんですけれども、自分が速いところとドラゴンさんが速いところがあって、それでちょっと抜ききれなくて、ちょっと悔しいですけど、次回に向けてもうちょっといいトレーニングを積んで、次回仕上げたいなと思います。ありがとうございました。
yeah, it's a little disappointing because I made a mistake in the first corner. Then I lost my position and tried my best to try to overtake the other one. There was some faster second myself and some second were faster. Then a little bit disappointed. Tried my best not to overtake, but tried to more training and more practice, and then try to be a winner for next year.
Okay, thank you very much. Motivashi, question for you. How was the weekend for you overall, and talk about your race?
吉田さん、今週を通していかがでしたか、このイベント。
非常に楽しいイベントで、これからの若いドライバーたちと一緒に走らせていただけるということにすごい感謝してますし、こういう機会をいただいたことには本当に嬉しく思います。また、こうやって生きてね、完走できたことで十分幸せなんで、次回、もうちょっとトレーニングして、頑張りたいと思います。
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot this weekend. I raced together with the young boys. Yeah, so finally